Kim Tae-ho felt his hands shake as he looked out the small window of the transport ship. Earth had never seen anything like this before. The Galactic Council station was bigger than any city on his home planet. It stretched for miles in every direction, with towers that reached up into the darkness of space. Millions of lights twinkled across its surface like stars, and ships of every shape and size moved around it like busy insects. This was the moment Earth had dreamed of for 300 years. The moment when humanity would finally join the galaxy as equals. Tae-ho had been chosen for this mission because he was calm under pressure and had a gift for learning languages. He had spent 2 years studying alien cultures and learning the HFY, common galactic tongue that most species use to talk to each other. Dr. Park So-ra stood beside him looking just as nervous as he felt. She was Earth's best expert on alien technology and had helped design the gifts they were bringing to show the galaxy what humans could create. Her hands held a special case containing documents that would make Earth an official member of the Galactic Federation if everything went well behind them. Captain Lee Jun-ho checked his equipment one more time. He was in charge of keeping the diplomatic team safe, but his orders were clear. This was a peaceful mission, and violence was to be avoided at all costs. Still, something in his soldier instincts told him to stay alert. The galaxy was full of unknowns, and Earth was walking in blind. The transport ship docked with a soft bump that barely shook the cabin. Through the speakers came a voice speaking in the galactic common tongue. "Welcome to Galactic Council Station. Please follow the marked paths to the Diplomatic Processing Center. Representatives Kim Tae-ho, Park So-ra, and Lee Jun-ho are expected in Council Chamber 7. As they walked through the docking bay, Tae-ho could not believe what he was seeing. Aliens of every possible type moved through the area. Some looked almost human with just different colored skin or extra arms. Others were so strange that his mind could barely understand what he was looking at. There were beings made of what looked like living crystal creatures that floated in the air without any visible means of support, and others that seemed to be made of pure energy. The diversity was beautiful, but also frightening. Earth had imagined that first contact would be with 1 or maybe 2 alien species. Instead, they had discovered a galaxy filled with thousands of different types of life forms, each with their own culture, technology, and way of thinking. It was overwhelming and exciting. At the same time, Dr. So-ra pointed to a group of aliens near a food vendor. These ones had blue skin and 4 arms, but otherwise looked remarkably human. "And those ones over there," she whispered. "They look like they are made of living metal." How is that even possible? Captain Jun-ho was less interested in the amazing sights and more focused on the reactions they were getting. As the human team walked through the station, he noticed that many aliens stopped talking when they saw them. Some pointed and whispered to others. Some moved away quickly as if the humans carried some kind of disease. The atmosphere felt cold and unwelcoming. "This does not feel right," Jun-ho said quietly to Tae-ho. "These aliens do not seem happy to see us." "At all?" Tae-ho nodded but kept walking forward. Earth had invested everything in this mission. The best minds on the planet had worked for decades to make this moment possible. Failure was not an option. The future of humanity depended on making a good impression and securing Earth's place in the galactic community. As they followed the marked path through the station, Tae-ho tried to take in everything around him. The walls were covered with symbols and writing in dozens of different languages. The air had a strange smell that was not unpleasant, but definitely not like anything on Earth. Sounds came from every direction as thousands of different species conducted business-made deals and lived their daily lives. The path led them through what seemed to be a shopping area, where aliens bought and sold goods from across the galaxy. Tae-ho saw fruits that glowed with their own light metals that seemed to bend and flow like water, and devices whose purpose he could not even guess at. The technology on display was centuries ahead of anything Earth had developed. One vendor, selling what looked like bottles of captured starlight, called out to them in broken galactic common. "New species. Welcome, welcome. What you buy? What you need? Special price for first-time visitors." But before any of them could respond, a tall alien, with gray skin and 6 eyes, approached them rapidly. Stay away from these plague carriers, the alien hissed to the vendor. They bring only death and destruction. Do not let them contaminate your goods. The vendor immediately backed away and began closing his stall. The gray alien looked at the humans with obvious disgust before walking away quickly. Tejo felt his heart sink. This was not going anything like they had hoped. They finally reached the council chambers after walking for nearly an hour through the massive station. The chamber was enormous with seats for thousands of representatives from different worlds. High above them, a dome showed the stars outside, making it feel like they were floating in space itself. But as the humans entered, something shocking happened. Most of the alien representatives stood up and began leaving the chamber. Within minutes, only a few dozen remained out of what should have been thousands. The head of the council, a tall being with blue skin, and 4 eyes looked down at the humans with obvious disgust. The council leader spoke in a voice that sounded like grinding metal. So the plague species has finally come to beg for acceptance. Tejo felt his blood turn cold at those words, but he forced himself to remain calm. Honorable council leader, we come in peace. Earth seeks only friendship and cooperation with the galactic community. He stepped forward and placed the ceremonial gifts they had brought on the table. These were some of Earth's finest. Art pieces, music recordings showing the beauty of human creativity, scientific discoveries that proved human intelligence, and samples of literature that showed the depth of human emotion and thought. Each gift had been carefully chosen to represent the best of what humanity had to offer the galaxy. The council leader looked at the gifts like they were garbage friendship. Your species is a virus that destroys everything it touches. We have watched your planet for centuries. You poison your own air and water. You kill your own kind in endless wars. You consume resources faster than they can be replaced. And now you want to spread this disease to the rest of the galaxy. Dr. Sora stepped forward, her voice shaking but determined. We have learned. From our mistakes, humanity has grown. We have ended most wars on our planet. We have begun healing our environment. We can contribute much to the galactic community. Our creativity, our determination, our ability to solve problems under pressure. Several alien representatives laughed, a sound like breaking glass. Creativity. You mean your talent for finding new ways to kill each other? Determination. You mean your refusal to live in harmony with nature? Problem solving. You mean creating bigger problems. Then you solve. Captain Jun-Ho sensed danger and moved closer to the ambassador. His security team spread out slightly, trying to look casual while preparing for trouble. The whole situation felt like a trap, and Jun-Ho military instincts were screaming. Warnings. The council leader stood up, towering over the humans. The Galactic Federation has made a decision about your species. You will return to your planet and never leave your solar system again. Any human ship that ventures beyond will be destroyed. Immediately, your species is quarantined forever. Tejo felt the weight of failure crushing down on him. Please give us a chance. Allow us to prove that humanity can be better. We have so much to offer. You have nothing we want. The council leader replied, coldly. In fact, the galaxy would be better off without your species entirely. Consider yourselves lucky that we allow you to live at all. The silence in the council chamber felt heavy, like a thick blanket pressing down on everyone. Tejo could hear his own heartbeat pounding in his ears as he tried to process what had just happened. The aliens did not just reject Earth's request to join their federation. They had called humans a plague species that needed to be contained forever. Dr. Sora gripped her diplomatic case so tightly her knuckles turned white. She had spent years preparing for this moment, studying alien cultures and learning their languages. She had imagined many possible outcomes for first contact, but never this complete rejection, and hatred. Captain Jun-Ho moved slightly closer to his team members. His military training told him that something was very wrong here. The aliens were not just unfriendly, they were actively hostile. The way they looked at the humans reminded him of how people looked at dangerous wild animals that needed to be caged or destroyed. The council leader was still standing, looking down at them with 4 cold eyes that showed no mercy or understanding. Your species has been observed for many centuries. He continued. We have watched your wars, your pollution, your endless hunger for resources. We have seen how you treat your own planet and your own kind. Tejo forced himself to speak, even though his voice felt weak and shaky. That is our past, honorable leader. Humanity has learned from those mistakes. We have united most of our world under peaceful governments. We have begun cleaning our environment. We have ended the largest wars and conflicts. More alien representatives laughed, but this time the sound was crueler, like the noise predators make before attacking their prey. United, you say, one of them called out. You still have weapons pointed at each other, you still compete for resources, you still cannot agree on basic things like how to govern yourselves. Another alien with skin that looked like tree bark stood up. Even now, as you speak of peace, your planet builds weapons of war. Your oceans are filled with military ships. Your skies are crossed by war machines. You come here speaking of friendship, while your world prepares for battle. Ra stepped forward, desperately, trying to save the mission. Those weapons exist only for defense against unknown threats. We had no idea what we would find in the galaxy. We needed to be prepared for any possibility. Now that we know about the Federation, we can reduce our military forces. The tree bark alien made a sound like wind blowing through dead leaves. Reduce your forces, you will build more weapons than ever now that you know the galaxy exists. You will study our technology and try to copy it. You will prepare to spread your poison to other worlds, Captain. Junho realized they were walking into a trap. The aliens had never intended to welcome humanity into their Federation. This whole meeting was designed to deliver a message, and that message was clear. Humans were not wanted anywhere in the galaxy. The council leader raised one of his forearms for silence. We have studied thousands of species over millions of years. We know the signs of a plague race. Your kind shows every single warning sign. Rapid population growth, aggressive expansion, environmental destruction, internal conflict, resource depletion. He pointed directly at Tejo. Species like yours have appeared before in galactic history. They always follow the same pattern. First, they destroy their homeworld. Then they spread to nearby systems. Then they consume everything they touch until entire regions of space become dead zones. Ra tried once more. Please give us a chance to prove you wrong. Let us show you that humans can be different. We have art, music, literature, science. We have love, compassion, the desire to explore and learn. We are more than just consumers and warriors. The council leader laughed, but there was no humor in the sound, only cold calculation. Art created by a species that glorifies violence, music that celebrates, conquest, literature that tells stories of domination, science used primarily to build better weapons, love that extends only to your own kind while you destroy everything else. Other aliens began speaking up, adding their voices to the condemnation. Your species kills for sport, said one. Your species poisons water sources, said another. Your species cuts down entire forests for temporary gain, said a third. Your species fights wars over invisible lines on maps, said a fourth. The accusations came, faster and faster until they blended together into a chorus of hatred and fear. Tejo realized that nothing he could say would change their minds. The aliens had already decided that humanity was evil and dangerous. They were not here to judge humans fairly. They were here to deliver a sentence. Captain Junho noticed that more alien security forces were gathering around the chamber exits. His team was outnumbered at least 50-1, and they were deep inside an alien space station with no way to escape or call for help. This was looking more and more like a trap designed to eliminate the human diplomatic mission entirely. The council leader raised his arms again, and the chamber fell silent. The Galactic Federation has reached a unanimous decision regarding the human species. You are classified as a Class 5 extinction threat. This classification has only been used 12 times in galactic history. Dr. Sora felt her legs go weak. What does that mean? She whispered. It means, the council leader said with satisfaction, that your species represents an unacceptable risk to galactic civilization. The standard protocol for Class 5 threats is immediate containment, followed by gradual elimination to prevent the spread of dangerous characteristics to other developing species. Tejo could not believe what he was hearing. They are talking about destroying humanity, he said. You are talking about genocide, about killing billions of innocent people. The council leader showed no emotion. Innocent. Your species has no innocence. You teach your children to compete and consume. You build your societies on the principle that might makes right. You celebrate individuals who take resources from others. You call it business or politics or economics, but it is simply organized theft and violence. Captain Junho saw alien guards moving into position around the chamber. They were being surrounded, and he doubted his small security team could fight their way out. Even if they tried, the situation was hopeless, but he had to try to get at least some of his people home to warn Earth. However, the council leader continued, there is one possibility for your species to avoid immediate extinction. You will return to your home system immediately. You will never again send ships beyond your solar system boundary. Any attempt to leave your designated containment area will result in the complete sterilization of all human worlds. The chamber filled with the sound of alien voices expressing approval and satisfaction. Taeho realized that this had all been planned from the beginning. The aliens had no intention of ever accepting humanity as equals. They saw humans as a disease that needed to be eliminated, or at minimum, completely isolated. Dr. Sora looked at the scientific equipment she had brought to share with the galaxy. All of Earth's greatest discoveries and achievements meant nothing to these beings. They saw only the worst aspects of human nature and refused to acknowledge anything positive about humanity. As the alien representatives began filing out of the chamber, the council leader delivered his final message. You have one standard galactic day to leave this station and return to your containment zone. Any human found outside your solar system after that time will be eliminated immediately, along with any ships or structures you have built. The trap was complete. Humanity had reached out to the galaxy seeking friendship and knowledge. Instead, they had found only hatred, fear, and the promise of extinction. The dream of joining a galactic civilization was over, before it had truly begun. Captain Junho gathered his team and began moving toward the exit. But he could see alien security forces. Watching their every move, the feeling of being hunted was unmistakable, and he knew their troubles were just beginning. The walk back through the station corridors felt like a funeral march. Taeho could barely keep his legs moving. As the weight of failure pressed down on his shoulders, Earth had sent him to make history to bring humanity into the galactic community. Instead, he was returning home with news that would crush the dreams of billions of people. Dr. Sora walked beside him in complete silence. Her scientific mind was trying to process what had just happened. The aliens had advanced technology that was centuries ahead of Earth, but their thinking seemed closed and prejudiced. They had judged humanity based on their worst moments and refused to see any possibility for growth or change. Captain Junho kept his team moving, but his soldier instincts were screaming warnings. The alien security forces were following them but trying to stay hidden. They moved in the shadows and behind corners, but Junho could feel their presence like a cold wind on his neck. Something was very wrong about this whole situation. As they reached the main corridor leading back to their transport ship, a group of alien security guards stepped out to block their path. The leader was a reptilian creature with scales that shifted color from green to red as he moved. His eyes were yellow and cold like a snake preparing to strike. The human delegation is ordered to stop for additional security screening, the reptilian guard announced in perfect galactic common. His voice had a hissing quality that made the words sound threatening even when they should have been routine. Captain Junho immediately stepped in front of Ambassador Taeho. What kind of additional screening, he asked. His hand moved slowly toward his weapon, but he was badly outnumbered. The station security forces surrounded them completely with at least 30 armed guards visible, and probably more hidden nearby. The reptilian guard smiled, showing rows of sharp teeth. The Galactic Council has made an additional decision regarding your species. Your presence on this station has been deemed a contamination risk that requires immediate action. Dr. Sora felt her heart start beating faster. What does that mean? She asked, though she was afraid she already knew the answer. The way the aliens were looking at them reminded her of how scientists looked at dangerous bacteria samples that needed to be destroyed. The guard continued. The Council has voted to upgrade your species classification from Class 5 extinction threat To Class 6 immediate elimination. This means that all human representatives must be terminated immediately to prevent the spread of contamination to other species. Tae-ho raised his hands peacefully, trying to buy time. We are diplomats under galactic law. We have immunity from violence. You cannot harm us without violating your own treaties and laws. The alien guards laughed, but the sound was like metal scraping against stone. Treaties are for civilized species, said the reptilian leader. Your kind gave up any claim to civilization long ago when you chose the path of destruction and violence. Another guard with blue skin and too many arms added, the contamination protocols override all other considerations. When a species reaches Class 6, status immediate elimination becomes not just permitted, but required by galactic law. Jun-ho realized they were about to die, and there was nothing he could do to stop it. His small security team was armed, but they were facing overwhelming odds in the middle of an alien space station with no backup and no escape route. The situation was hopeless, but he would not go down without a fight. Wait, Tae-ho said desperately. At least let us send a final message to our people. Let them know what happened. Here, give them a chance to understand why we never returned home. The reptilian guard considered this request for a moment, then nodded. It will serve as a warning to any other humans who might try to leave their containment zone. You have 30 seconds to record your message. Tae-ho quickly activated the emergency transmitter hidden in his diplomatic case. The device was designed to send messages across space instantly using quantum communication technology that Earth had developed in secret. While the aliens watched him record what they thought was a simple goodbye message, the transmitter was actually capturing everything that had happened since they arrived at the station Earth Command. This is Ambassador Tae-ho, he said, speaking. Quickly, the Galactic Federation has rejected our request for membership. They have classified humanity as an extinction threat. They plan to attack Earth and eliminate our entire species. This is not a peaceful galaxy. They see us as a plague that must be destroyed, the reptilian guard hissed impatiently. Your time is up, human scum. Prepare to face the consequences of your species. Crimes against the natural order energy weapons appeared in the hands of every alien guard. The corridor filled, with a soft humming sound as the weapons powered up. Dr. Sora grabbed Tae-ho's arm and tried to pull him toward cover, but there was nowhere to run. The aliens had positioned themselves to block every possible escape route. Captain Jun-ho drew his weapon and fired twice before the alien energy beams cut him down. His shots hit 2 of the guards, but there were too many others. The energy weapons made almost no sound, but they were absolutely deadly. The air filled with the smell of burning metal and something else that might have been burned. Flesh Dr. Sora screamed and tried to run, but bright beams of energy struck her from 3 different directions. She fell to the metal floor without making another sound. Her scientific equipment scattered. Around her, the gifts and knowledge that Earth had hoped to share with the galaxy, now just broken pieces on an alien floor ambassador. Tae-ho had just enough time to speak his final words into the transmitter. They killed us all. He gasped as energy. Beams burned through his chest. Earth must prepare for war. They are coming for you next. Do not trust them. Do not believe their lies. They want us all dead. The transmission ended as Tae-ho collapsed. The quantum communicator continued working for a few more seconds, sending the complete recording of everything that had happened in the council chambers and during the murder back to Earth. The aliens had no idea that human technology could send messages across space instantly. The reptilian guard walked over to examine the human bodies. Good, he said with satisfaction. Another plague species eliminated before they could spread their contamination. The galaxy is safer now. The other guards began collecting the human equipment and preparing to dispose of the bodies. This was routine work for them. They had done this kind of thing many times before with other species that the galaxy deemed unworthy or dangerous. In their minds, they had just eliminated another potential threat to galactic peace and prosperity. But they had made one critical mistake. They assumed that humans were like other species they had killed before. They thought Earth would receive news of the deaths weeks or months later, giving the galaxy time to prepare for any reaction. They had no idea that human technology could send messages instantly across space using quantum entanglement. The alien guards finished their cleanup work and went back to their normal duties. They felt proud of serving the galactic community by eliminating dangerous threats. They had no idea that their actions had just started a war that would end their civilization, far away on Earth. The quantum communicator delivered its message within minutes of the murders. Admiral Choi Heejin and her staff received not just news of the deaths but complete evidence of what the galaxy really thought of humanity. The recording was clear and detailed. The aliens had not just rejected humanity, they had declared war on the entire human species. The age of peaceful exploration was over. The age of human vengeance was about to begin. The alien fleet approaching Earth's solar system was the largest military force ever assembled in galactic history. Ships from hundreds of different worlds had joined together to eliminate the human threat once and for all. Supreme Admiral Vex 9 commanded this massive armada from his flagship, a vessel the size of a small moon that carried enough firepower to destroy entire planets. Biological scans confirm that the human home system contains approximately 8 billion targets reported. His tactical officer: "Our forces are more than sufficient to sterilize all planets in the system within 6 standard galactic time units." Supreme Admiral Vex 9 studied the tactical display with complete satisfaction. This would be another routine extermination mission like so many others they had conducted over the centuries. The galaxy had perfected the art of eliminating dangerous species before they could spread their contamination to other worlds. "Begin final approach," he ordered launch. "Long-range bombardment missiles. As soon as we reach optimal firing distance, I want every human world turned to molten glass. Leave nothing alive that could carry their genetic material to other systems." But as the alien fleet entered the outer edge of Earth's solar system, something impossible happened. Space itself seemed to tear open as hundreds of human warships appeared from absolutely nowhere. The ships were larger and far more advanced than anything in the galactic military database energy. Readings showed weapon systems that should have been impossible for such a young species to develop. Alert, alert, unknown vessels appearing throughout the entire system. The tactical officer screamed in panic. "Power readings are off our measurement scales, Supreme Admiral. These ships are more advanced than anything we have ever encountered." Before Vex 9 could respond, the human fleet opened fire with weapons unlike anything the galaxy had ever seen. Instead of simple energy beams or solid projectiles, the humans had learned to weaponize the fundamental forces of the universe itself. Gravity waves crushed alien ships like tin cans. Focused radiation beams turned proud warships into expanding clouds of superheated plasma. Captain Park Min-Soo watched from the bridge of Earthwrath as alien ships died by the hundreds with each passing second. "Target their command vessel," he ordered with the calm voice of someone who had trained for this moment his entire life. "Show them what happens when they threaten Earth." The Earthwrath fired its primary weapon, a device that created miniature black holes, and launched them at enemy targets. The alien flagship Pride of the Galactic Fleet simply ceased to exist as the artificial black hole consumed it completely, along with Supreme Admiral Vex 9 and his entire command staff. The battle was not even close to being fair. The aliens had brought conventional weapons to fight an enemy that had mastered the deepest secrets of physics itself. Human ships moved faster than light could travel, used gravity as a weapon, and generated energy shields that made them nearly indestructible. But Earth revenge did not stop with just destroying the invasion fleet. While the space battle raged around their home system, other human ships were already attacking alien worlds throughout the galaxy. The humans had spent decades secretly mapping every major alien civilization, and they knew exactly where to strike for maximum damage. Admiral Choi coordinated the galaxy-wide assault from her command center deep beneath the Rocky Mountain. Status report from all battle groups. She ordered, "Battle Group Alpha has completely destroyed the Galactic Council." Military headquarters reported Colonel Yoon battle. Group Beta has eliminated the main fleet construction yards at Proxima. Central Battle Group Gamma has successfully attacked the alien leadership centers on 23 different worlds. The reports kept flowing in faster than the staff could process. Them human forces were striking everywhere at once, moving with speed and precision that the galaxy had thought impossible. Alien governments that had existed for thousands of years were falling within hours of the first attack. Captain Bei Su-jin, commanding the Earthshield, had been assigned to attack the Galactic Council Station, where Ambassador Tae-ho and his team had been murdered. Her ship arrived at the massive station, just as emergency alarms began wailing throughout the structure. Same council chamber where the human diplomats had been rejected and condemned was now filled with terrified alien leaders trying desperately to coordinate some kind of defense. But their communications were being jammed by human technology, and their military forces were being systematically destroyed across the galaxy. The council leader, who had called humans a plague species, now cowered in his private chambers as human soldiers broke down his reinforced door. Commander Ko Unseo, leader of the boarding party, looked down at the alien who had ordered her people. Death. You made a mistake, she said in perfect galactic common, her voice carrying the cold fury of an entire species. You thought humans were weak because we tried diplomacy. First, you forgot that we only offer peace to those who deserve it. Throughout the galaxy, the same scene was repeating itself on world after world. Alien military bases were being destroyed, alien fleets were being wiped out, alien leaders were being captured or killed. The galactic civilization that had ruled space for millions of years was collapsing in less than 24 hours on the alien homeworld of Centauri Prime. Captain Im Da-sam led a strike force that eliminated their primary defense. Grid within minutes, the aliens had never imagined that any species could move ships across galactic distances so quickly, or strike with such devastating precision. The quantum communication networks that connected alien worlds were being systematically destroyed, leaving entire star systems isolated and unable to coordinate any kind of unified response. Each alien world found itself fighting alone against human forces that seemed to appear from nowhere and strike with impossible power. Within 18 hours of Ambassador Tae-ho death, the galactic civilization that had existed for millennia was in complete ruins. Alien species across the galaxy received the same message broadcast simultaneously on every communication frequency. This is Admiral Choi Hyejin of the Earth Defense Force. You murdered our diplomats who came to you seeking peace and friendship. You declared war on humanity and threatened to exterminate our entire species. You have now learned the price of that mistake. The message continued with terms that left no room for negotiation. Earth offers one chance for survival: complete and unconditional surrender to human authority over this galaxy. You have exactly 24 hours to contact us and accept these terms. Any species that refuses will be eliminated completely. Alien leaders who had survived the initial attacks huddled in their emergency bunkers trying to comprehend what had happened. The species they had dismissed as primitive plague carriers had just conquered the entire galaxy in less than a day. Some aliens tried to organize resistance movements, but human intelligence networks had infiltrated every major alien civilization decades earlier. The resistance leaders were captured or eliminated before they could take any meaningful action. Others tried to negotiate for better terms, but Admiral Choi's response was always the same: unconditional surrender or complete extinction. Those are your only choices. The galaxy had killed a human envoy who came seeking peace. Earth revenge had been swift, total, and absolutely merciless. In trying to eliminate humanity, the aliens had instead handed control of the galaxy to the very species they had feared most. The age of alien dominance was over forever. The age of humanity had begun, and it would last for as long as humans chose to rule the stars. Deep beneath the Rocky Mountains, in the most secure military facility on Earth, Admiral Choi Hyejin was reviewing daily patrol reports when every alarm in the command center began screaming at once. Red warning lights flashed across the massive, underground complex as communication officers frantically worked their stations, trying to understand what was happening. The quantum communicator, which had been silent for months, suddenly activated with an emergency priority signal from the diplomatic mission. Admiral called Lieutenant Commander Nam Kite from the main communication station. Emergency transmission from Ambassador Tae-ho. The signal strength is maximum priority. But Admiral, they are all dead. The entire command center fell silent, except for the humming of computers and the soft beeping of monitoring equipment. Admiral Choi felt ice water replace the blood in her veins as she listened to the transmission. The recording was crystal clear and contained everything that had happened from the moment the humans entered the council chambers until the final moments of their lives. The aliens had not just rejected humanity's request to join their federation, they had declared humans a plague species that needed to be completely eliminated. They had murdered Earth diplomats in cold blood and were already planning to attack Earth itself. The galaxy wanted humanity dead, and they were not going to wait long to make it happen. How long ago did this transmission begin? Admiral, Choi asked, keeping her voice steady even though rage was building inside her like a nuclear reactor. Approaching critical mass 18 minutes ago, Admiral Nam Ki-tae replied. The quantum link transmitted all data instantly, including full audio and video recordings of everything that happened. Admiral Choi turned to face her senior staff. These were the best military minds that Earth had ever produced. People who had spent their entire careers preparing for the possibility of conflict with alien species. They had hoped it would never be necessary, but they had never stopped planning for this exact situation. Recommendations, she asked in a voice that could cut steel. Colonel Yoon Sang-ho, head of strategic planning, spoke first. Admiral, they have declared war on humanity. The transmission makes it absolutely clear that they plan to attack Earth and eliminate our entire species. We need to strike first while we still have the element of surprise. Major Han Ye-jin from the intelligence section interrupted. Admiral, our deep space monitoring stations are detecting massive energy signatures throughout the galaxy. Fleet movements on a scale we have never seen before. They are not just planning to attack us, they are already mobilizing every military force they have. Admiral Choi walked over to the enormous display screen that showed Earth defensive positions and fleet locations. Humanity had spent 50 years preparing for this possibility. While sending peaceful diplomatic missions, Earth military had also been building the most advanced and powerful fleet in human history. Ships powered by fusion reactors that could burn for decades without refueling, armed with weapons that could crack planets in half, protected by energy, shields that could bend space itself and deflect any known weapon. The aliens thought they were dealing with a primitive species that barely knew how to leave their own planet. They were about to learn how wrong they were. Activate the vengeance. Protocol. Admiral Choi ordered, her voice carrying the authority of someone who had trained for this moment her entire life. All fleet commanders are to receive their sealed orders immediately. I want every available ship launched within 1 hour throughout Earth solar system. Massive warships that had been hidden in asteroid belts and behind moons suddenly came to life. These ships had been built in secret using technology that Earth scientists had developed by studying captured alien signals and debris. The humans had been listening to galactic communications for decades, learning about alien technology and improving on it. The largest ship was called Earth Wrath, and it was commanded by Captain Park Min-soo. His vessel alone carried enough firepower to destroy entire star systems. The ship was 3 miles long and packed with weapons that used principles the aliens had never imagined possible. As his crew prepared for launch, Captain Park addressed them over the ship communication. System crew of Earth Wrath, our diplomats went to the galaxy seeking peace and friendship. They were murdered for the crime of being human. The aliens think we are a plague that needs to be wiped out. Today we are going to show them what a real plague looks like. Other ships throughout the solar system were also preparing for battle. The Earth Shield, commanded by Captain Bae Soo-jin, specialized in defensive operations, but carried weapons that could turn enemy fleets into expanding clouds of plasma. The Earth Sword under Captain Im Da-sam was built for fast attacks and could move faster than light itself. Admiral Choi watched as her fleet prepared to launch. These ships represented 50 years of human engineering and innovation built by a species that the aliens thought was primitive and backward. The galaxy was about to discover that humans had been preparing for war. While talking about peace, Sir called Major Han from her monitoring station. Long-range sensors show the alien fleet approaching our solar system. Their numbers are massive. Admiral, this is the largest military force ever assembled in recorded galactic history. Admiral Choi smiled, but there was no warmth in her expression. Only cold calculation. Let them come, Major. Earth has been waiting for this fight for half a century. We have prepared for every possible scenario and built weapons they cannot imagine. The Earth Wrath launched first, followed by dozens of other massive warships. Each ship was a marvel of human engineering designed to fight enemies with superior numbers and advanced technology. The aliens had experience in numbers, but humans had desperation, creativity, and the fury of a species fighting for survival. Captain Park Min-soo stood on the bridge of his flagship as it accelerated toward the edge of the solar system. Target analysis, he called to his weapons officer. Captain, replied the officer. The alien fleet consists of approximately 8,000 ships from multiple species. Their technology appears to be energy-based weapons and conventional propulsion systems. They have no idea what they are about to face. Admiral Choi coordinated the entire operation from her underground command center. Battle Group Alpha will engage the main alien. Fleet Battle Group Beta will strike at their supply lines. Battle Group Gamma will attack their homeworlds simultaneously. We hit them everywhere at once before they can organize a proper defense. But Earth Revenge was not going to stop with just defending against the invasion. Other human ships were already moving toward alien space using technology that allowed them to travel faster than the aliens thought possible. While the galaxy expected a defensive battle, Earth was planning a complete offensive that would strike every alien world at the same time. Admiral, this is incredible, reported Colonel Yoon. Our deep strike teams are already in position around major alien worlds. The aliens have no idea that human ships have been secretly mapping their territory for decades. Admiral Choi felt a grim satisfaction as the reports came in. Earth had not been idle during the years of trying diplomatic contact. Human intelligence services had been busy learning everything possible about alien civilizations, their military bases, their government centers, their important infrastructure. The aliens thought they were dealing with a naive species that barely understood space travel. Instead, they were facing an enemy that had been preparing for galactic war while pretending to seek peace. The galaxy had made a fatal mistake in murdering Earth diplomats. Commence Operation Galactic Storm, Admiral Choi ordered. Show them what happens when you threaten humanity.